Well, would you look at that? We're back. Ow. We're back.
Rafi's tips for artists because he loves you.
Hola, you amazing artists, and welcome to the studio. Today, we're going to talk about taking criticism. One of the main things that you're going to run into as an artist is you are going to take criticism. There's going to be criticism coming out of the wazoo of everyone that you know. The reason that I want to talk about criticism is because I know that a lot of people out there are terrified of criticism. They're terrified of rejection, criticism, the naysayers, all kinds of things. I know some really creative people that spend their time playing things safe because they're afraid of running into any kind of criticism whatsoever. The thing about art is that art is relative. So there is one fact out there when it comes to art, and that fact is that not everyone is going to like what you create. In other words, it doesn't matter what you do, you are not going to avoid some form of negative criticism that is coming at you. Now, that being said, not all criticism is created equally. There is some really great criticism out there that are actually giving you some type of critique because they want to see you improve and they understand that they are giving you an opinion and that it's not fact. The criticism that I'm talking about in this video is criticism that comes from just it's not anything that's going to be helpful. I remember putting my art out there for the first time. A young girl walked by my table where I had all my artwork set up, and she started smacking paintings. Ugly and inappropriate. Ugly and inappropriate. Ugly and inappropriate. This girl's parents were standing behind her, almost like, Another one that I'm sure that you guys have heard, and I've heard quite a bit, is the term quote-unquote real art. Somehow they're experts on determining this thing that is undeterminable. In a lot of cases, when people are telling me what is real art or not real art, my thought is if you don't have paint covering every piece of clothing that you have, then you have zero opinion on what real art is. Another one that I've heard is your art is not relevant. And I'm like, what? First time that I showed my stuff at a museum of contemporary art, my ex-wife's friends came and they looked at my art and they said, "Did your kids help you with this?" And I remember just being like, yeah, sure, they did. Because my kids are artistic geniuses. One of our Rogue Artist family on Patreon did a beautiful water scene painting. And somebody came out of the blue and was like, your watercolor is all wrong because it was more of a greenish color. And I was like, apparently this person hasn't traveled very much because water's not just blue. I remember at one point somebody came into my booth and they started criticizing stuff. First off, they came in and were like, whoa, whoever did this stuff must be on drugs. So I was like, okay, yeah, well, not really, because I am drugs. Salvador Dali. This person proceeded to tell me everything that was wrong with my artwork. And I remember asking him, like, so are you a painter? Like, are you an artist? Do you create art? And they're like, no, but I've watched a lot of documentaries. And I was like, fuck my life. And of course, if you've been putting your artwork out there for any amount of time and you just like creating the stuff that you like creating, chances are you have heard the ever popular words, "Oh, that's different." Yes, it is. That's how art works. It's different. It's unique. I created it. I know that criticism, getting criticized, can keep people from like actually putting their artwork out there or being like super nervous about putting their artwork out there. And the truth of the matter is that when it comes to criticism of any type, any sort, at the end of the day, it's just somebody's opinion. Like, that's it. It's somebody's opinion. And really, when you're getting negatively criticized about your artwork, it's simply because that person happens to not like your artwork. In some cases, that person might think that they are an art expert and their opinion person of not liking your artwork means that your artwork is bad, but really in reality, that's not what it means. Your artwork's not bad, it just means that this person doesn't like it. If nobody's criticizing your art, chances are you're just not making any waves. I have 5 things that I think about whenever there's any kind of criticism coming, like who is this coming from? The first one is professional critics. Obviously, there's people out there that studied art history and they've made it their job to go out and, critique artwork, comparatively speaking to historical artwork, to new artwork, contemporary, like all that stuff. And this is almost like an academic way of looking at art. And that's fine. There's stuff that you can learn from that. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to that person having an opinion and having likes and dislikes. Whenever I've gotten an academic type critique on my work, I take it with a grain of salt. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Can I learn from this? If I'm like, whatever. I mean, that's the thing with critiques is that you take it or leave it. If you think like, oh, you know what, that works, then maybe you take that critique. If you're like, I don't care, then you don't. The other one is peer review. That's other artists giving you their opinion. Sometimes those opinions are really, really good. Sometimes those opinions are wrapped up in their own insecurities. And you could pretty much tell, because if it's not beneficial to you at all as an artist, then chances are that their critique has nothing to do with you. The other one is the general public. The general public loves to comment on the art. If they like something, they'll say that they like it. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Sometimes they don't say anything. Sometimes they grunt at your artwork. I've had that happen a few times. The other critique are bags of douche, basically. Just people out there that hate everything. It's almost like they've made it their mission to just put everything down. These are the people that are not in the arena, by the way. These are the people that are just pointing a finger, but they're the ones that you ask, like, okay, have you created any art? And they'll be, no, I don't create art because I have some justifiable reason why I haven't created art. When it comes to those kind of critiques, I'm like, I don't care. You know what? Keep on walking and do whatever it is that you do in life that makes you happy. You do that. And of course, the 5th one is the critic in your head. The critic in your head is the worst of all of these. In fact, the only reason that anyone else's critique might get under your skin is because the critic in your head has been telling you that critique for a long time. The critic in your head is the one that you really, really have to combat. When it comes to everybody else, like, you take it with a grain of salt. It has to do with their opinion on art overall, whether or not they like the art, what their aesthetics are, what their tastes are. It really, if you get any kind of benefit from a critique, great. But if it's something that you're like, I could do without it, then you don't take it in. If the critic in your head is constantly berating you about your art, then anything that anyone says that is even remotely similar to what you think already, that's going to get under your skin. And really, that's the only place that you have control over when it comes to critique is how do you critique your art? How do you look at your abilities? I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to any kind of critiques or anything like that, I think of the intention. Like, what's the intention there? Is this person trying to give me a genuine critique? Is this person blowing off steam? Is this person making a joke? I can't even tell you how many times I've been at a show and somebody's joking around with their friends and they say some stuff and I'm like, that's bullshit. The moral of the story here when it comes to critiques is this. Every single artist in history, from Picasso to Monet to everyone, every single artist, whether they were the greats or they are contemporary artists, every single one of us has had criticism. Negative, scathing criticism, not so scathing criticism, all kinds of stuff. The fact of the matter is that the world is full of people and people have opinions on things, and sometimes they like things and sometimes they don't like things. And in most cases, they're very vocal about it. It's not even about developing a thick skin. It's about realizing, like, in most cases, somebody's opinion doesn't have much to do with me. I'm not going to allow myself to get hurt by someone's opinion, because then in that case, like, you're kind of allowing that to control you. And you don't want that negative thing to be stuck in your crawl, because you have artwork to create. You have an art career to build. Don't let that stuff get under your skin. If it's something that you agree with, if somebody critiques your work and you're like, you're right. that would probably look better. Then most definitely you've taken the critique and now you could do something with it. In most cases, a lot of critiques, you can't do anything with it. If somebody comes, I've had people tell me your artwork sucks. I'm like, great. I can't do shit with that. At the end of the day, critique as an artist, that's par for the course. That's just par for the course. And you could either embrace it and let it fuel you and keep going and keep doing what it is that you do, or you can let it stop you. Don't let anything stop you from creating what you want to create. Let it go and keep doing what you do. Like don't sit there and ruminate about somebody else's opinions. You know, opinions are like a-holes. You know the rest of that. And that's it, you guys. Just some food for thought that I was thinking about today that I wanted to share with you. And hopefully you got something out of that. And yeah, we're back. Our adventure videos were up. Hopefully you guys enjoyed us finding our dream home. This is the studio. Pretty soon we're going to give you a new tour of the entire Sunflower House so you can see where we're at after 2 years. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. Hey, I would love to hear any critiques that you've run into. I always love hearing the weird critiques that are out there. Go ahead and leave that in the comment section below. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are absolutely amazing. And if this is the first time you've watched it and you like whatever you saw here, go ahead and click over here to subscribe. And other than that, yeah, I gotta get going. Adios.